Welcome to Muscles and Magic the Gathering. My name is Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles. These cards, Magic the Gathering, something that's been a massive passion of mine for 31 years. I started in 1994. My first set was unlimited. I'm a true OG, bona fide Magic the Gathering player. But none of that matters today. You know what matters? That you love Magic the Gathering, that you love Commander, the greatest format in Magic the Gathering history, that you love Avatar, the Last Airbender, maybe one of the best Universes Beyond sets I've ever seen. And most importantly, you want to know 10 powerhouse cards that can make or break your Wan Shi Tong all-knowing deck. So stay tuned for those 10 cards. It will absolutely blow your mind. By the way, subscribe, smash that like button, and stay tuned for all kinds of Avatar content from yours truly. But we're going to dive right in. We're going to start with our commander. We always look at the commander. And the commander of the day right here, Wan Shi Tong, all-knowing. Now, I've got to apologize. You know my thing. I only use real cards. I don't put graphics on the screen. I don't use proxies or printouts, but I couldn't help it. Avatar, at the time of this video, it's not even released. So here's what we're going with. Wan Shi Tong, all-knowing. It costs 5. You know what? I apologize. I was playing with your emotions. I'm tired of this fake nonsense. I actually have. You see that smile on my face? I actually have a Wan Shi Tong all-knowing card. Now you think, Bobby Maximus, how did you get this? It's not even released yet. I was fortunate enough, grateful enough to be an actual Magic the Gathering ambassador for Avatar, the Last Airbender. It's honestly unreal and one of the most exciting things in my life. I love Magic the Gathering. I love Avatar, the Last Airbender. And to be recognized for something that's a passion and a love of yours is really the greatest feeling in the world. So I can't tell you the love and gratitude I feel for this set, for Wizards, for the people in the community. But here we are. And I actually have a Wan Shi Tong card. And I got to tell you, I screamed when I opened this. I am thrilled to be able to get one of these because this is one of the commanders I'm most looking forward to build. If you know anything about my channel, I'm on the race to 100 full commander decks. I'm currently at 64. And out of those 64, I have all kinds of different play styles. I've got energy, 1/1 counters, almost every kind of kinfolk tribal group you can imagine. You see, by the time I get to 100 decks, I want to represent every single play style. All right. I want just a variety of decks. I don't want every deck to be the same. And I don't think I've ever seen a commander like this. This is completely unique to me. Now, I may be wrong. There's a lot of cards in the Magic the Gathering universe, and I'm not infallible. There may be a card that does something like this, but I don't think so. Like, I think this is like a one-of-one, a completely unique commander. So I'm thrilled to build this one. Let's take a look. Wan Shi Tong, all-knowing. It costs 5 mana, 2 blue, 3 colorless. It's a bird spirit creature. It's a 4/4. It's flying, legendary, of course. And when Wan Shi Tong enters, target non-land permanent's owner puts it into their library, second from the top or on the bottom. Whenever one or more cards are put into a library from anywhere, create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens with this token can't be blocked or blocked by non-spirit creatures. So when I looked at this card, I immediately thought, I am going to need cards to blink Wan Shi Tong to and from the battlefield to make sure it triggers, all right? And I'm going to want all kinds of cards that put stuff in my library so I can create a plethora, an army of these spirit creatures. Now, of course, you're going to need some like spirit creature anthems. Think like a coat of arms, right? That would be an awesome card for this deck. But the things I want to focus on in this video are these cards that are going to help me blink Wan Shi Tong, like I said, to and from the battlefield, and these cards that place things in my library. So let's take a look, all right? Now, I do have a couple of honorable mentions here that I want to start with. Building any deck, and I try to gear a lot of my content, like I try to cater to beginners because there's a lot of cards in the Magic the Gathering universe that people don't know about. And I am surprised, always surprised, how many people don't use the medallions or don't know they exist. A sapphire medallion in a mono blue deck is essential. It costs 2 mana, and then blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Don't sleep on it. Don't forget it. If you're just learning about it, go get yourself one for your mono blue deck. And it's really cool because one of these exists for mono black, mono red, mono green, mono white. You get the picture, but this acts as a cost reducer and is huge in a mono blue deck, so don't forget about it. Another card I wanted to mention, because I haven't had a place for this card, right? It's not in a sleeve. I don't use it, but finally I get to use it. And I don't even know how to pronounce this little guy's name. Siblith the Lost, I think. But when he enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. And when it becomes the target of a spell, shuffle it into its owner's library. So every time it's the target of a spell, I shuffle it into the library. It triggers Wan Shi Tong. I get some spirit creature tokens. Awesome. All right. Now, before we get to our top 10, let's talk about some blink cards. I have blink cards as your honorable mentions. Listen, in truth, when I tell you I'll give you 10 cards for your deck, I will always give you more than 10. I under-promise and over-deliver. But I separated the cards into 2 categories today. The first category is those cards that will blink Wan Shi Tong to and from your hand. First one up, Displacer Kitten from Baldur's Gate, one of the best sets, I think, for Commander in Magic the Gathering history. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So that will trigger Wan Shi Tong, and then you will be able to make those spirit tokens. One of the best ones for this, Thassa's Deep Dwelling. It's got indestructible, and as long as your devotion's blue is less than 5, it isn't a creature. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So again, a great way to trigger Wan Shi Tong. We have Essence Flux, and this is the perfect card for this deck, by the way. Exile target creature you control, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it's a spirit, which Wan Shi Tong is, put a 1/1 counter on it. And then we have the Ghostly Flicker. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures and or lands you controlled, and return those cards to the battlefield under your control. Great ways to trigger Wan Shi Tong. You might also want to take a look at a Dead Eye Navigator, but I didn't pull it out of my decks. That could also make the list. So those are the ways you're going to get Wan Shi Tong to and from the battlefield. You're going to want a lot of those cards. And now for the 10 cards that you've been waiting for. These 10 cards focus on abusing that library mechanic. And you could see a lot of these cards aren't in sleeves or cards I just kind of had laying around because I didn't know what to do with them. But now I do. I have a solution. I can include them in my Commander collection. The first card up, the Cavalier of Gales. It costs 5 mana. It's a 5/5. It's flying. It's an elemental knight. And when Cavalier of Gales enters, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. That will trigger Wan Shi Tong. And when it dies, shuffle it into its owner's library. So it's kind of like a double trigger. Great card for your Wan Shi Tong deck. Another card from Outlaws at Thunder Junction, a set I really, really love, the Tomb Trawler. This is a great one. It only costs 2 mana. It's a 0/4, but it's got this ability here. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. You can do that as many times as you want, provided you have the mana. So what an insane way to just perpetually trigger Wan Shi Tong. Awesome. I love it. Brain Search. Draw 4 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order from Modern Horizons 3. Another great way to trigger Wan Shi Tong. I got to tell you, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I am so excited to be able to build this deck. This is like really exciting for me to be able to play a whole new style and have a whole new element for my collection, all right? Memory Lapse from Eternal Masters. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, put it on top of its owner's library instead of into that player's graveyard. Now, overall, it's not the greatest counter spell, but in this deck, it's going to do some real work. It's a counter. It's going to trigger Wan Shi Tong. Absolutely love it. A classic card, Vendilion Click. Flash, flying. And when it comes into play, look at target player's hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do that, player reveals a chosen card, puts it on the bottom of his or her library, then draws a card. What a beautiful, beautiful card to have in Wan Shi Tong. It's going to get rid of a card from a player's hand and put it on top, on the bottom of their library, not on top. If it was on top, this card wouldn't be nearly as powerful, but on the bottom, and you're going to make a spirit creature token. Love it. Brainstorm. This is my Spider-Man Secret Lair version. I got a couple of these. I absolutely love it. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. I use this card in almost any blue deck I build. I love to be able to sort the cards on top of my library. Sometimes people underrate this card for some reason. Like, people use it a lot, but I also hear a lot of people rip on it. I think this is such a useful card in a game of Commander, to be able to just draw a card for 1 mana and to be able to sort through the top of your deck a little bit. I think it is a winner. So Brainstorm in this deck, awesome. Patrician Geist. Here's one of those Spirit Anthem cards that I want. Flying. Other spirits you control get +1/+1. And spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. To be honest with you, I haven't really thought through how I'm going to abuse that in this deck yet. But even if I don't, I am going to get my bump for all my spirit creatures. So even just at that, I am happy. I'm actually thinking about when I build this deck for the creatures. Like, I know I showed this little guy here. I might actually not include him. I'm not sure. It depends what way I go. I might actually make this my spirit kinfolk type deck. Like I said, in my 100 decks, I'm trying to build all kinds of things. You know, cats, slivers, zombies, vampires, elves, goblins, dinos, dragons. Like, I do need a spirit kinfolk type deck. So this deck might do double duty. It's a unique commander, but this might also be my spirit tribal deck, if you will. And now the last 3 cards, and you probably know what they are. They are absolute powerhouses. The first one, this commander was made to abuse tutors. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top. So you can go get that Brainstorm and you could trigger Wan Shi Tong. So this here, Mystical Tutor, you absolutely need a Mystical Tutor in this deck. The next card, the Scroll Rack. And I love Scroll Rack. This is not an inexpensive card, but super usable. I mean, super usable in any deck, especially this one. You pay 1, you tap, exile any number of cards from your hand face down, put that many cards from the top of your library in your hand. Then look at the exiled cards and put them on top of your library in any order. So incredible, incredible card for just fixing, but you can trigger Wan Shi Tong every single turn. And then talking about triggering Wan Shi Tong every single turn, Sensei's Divining Top. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. Draw a card, then put Sensei's Divining Top on top of its owner's library. So another incredible card. Honestly, not just in Wan Shi Tong, any deck, period. But in Wan Shi Tong, some real work. So there you have it. To review, we have Wan Shi Tong, all-knowing, all right? Incredible commander. We've got some of those Blink type style cards. We're going to want a lot of those. Like I said, I'm probably going to stick a Deadeye Navigator in this deck, and there's a couple other cards I can put in. And then we have Sensei's Divining Top. We have the Scroll Rack. We have the Mystical Tutor. We have the Patrician Geist. We have the Brainstorm. We have the Vendilion Click. We have the Memory Lapse. We have the Brain Surge. Tomb Trawler might be the best card for this deck because you can trigger Wan Shi Tong multiple times in a turn with it. I think this is awesome, this card right here. It arguably could be my #1 card, even though it's a card I don't see played ever, really. But in this deck, yeah, it's going to get a lot of play. You're going to see this card make a massive resurgence, if you will. Actually, not even resurgence. I don't even know if it was there in the first place. And then we have the Cavalier of Gales. 10 incredible cards for your Wan Shi Tong all-knowing deck. And yes, I actually have a copy. I am going to build this deck. I got to tell you, with the Avatar set, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I have an Assassin's Creed. I love Universes Beyond, by the way. I am a Universes Beyond proponent, if you will. I love it. I have an all Assassin's Creed deck, just only cards from the Assassin's Creed set. I have 4 from Lord of the Rings. I've got a couple of decks that are helmed by some of the Final Fantasy cards, right? I have my Enchantress deck, which is Yuna, Hope of Spira, and I also have a Sephiroth deck. I do want to build a VV1 as well. But I got to tell you, in Avatar, there are like 8, 9, 10. There's a bunch of commanders I want to build. And not just because I'm an ambassador for it. Like, there are just so many great commanders in this set. It's one of the best sets I've seen in a while. A massive home run. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Avatar. But most importantly, subscribe, smash that like button. I want to make this the most realist, most positive Magic Gathering channel on the planet. But I'm also going to make a personal plea for help. There are so many cards. Like I mentioned Sapphire Medallion earlier in the show. And show it right here. But I mentioned this earlier because there are some people that don't know about this card. I've been collecting since 1994, but there are cards I don't know exist. I'm always learning, right? And I try to have a humble approach to the game that way. I would love your advice on cards that you would put in this deck genuinely in the comments. You'll notice with my videos, my deck lists constantly change. A common comment on this channel is, hey, I looked at your deck list. It's different than your video, because I'm constantly updating my decks when I get new cards or I find new cards, right? Or someone recommends a card, but I actually have a copy of it that's not in play that just really fits the deck style. So please put your recommendations in the comments. Chances are I will include them in my deck, and I would love your help. There are so many insanely talented people in this community, people that really like know the game even a lot better than I do. You know, some great competitors and players out there. And if I can get any advice to help build better decks, I am here for it. And it's a great way to interact and become friends, because that's, to me, that's what this is about, the gathering, right? And that's what means the most to me. So get in the comments, put your deck recommendations or your card recommendations. I would love to hear from you. And make sure you check out all the content on Muscles and Magic the Gathering.